Hey, this is the Digestible Podcast, episode 2. I am your host, Joseph,
And I'm Uncle Poe.
and today we're going to talk about a plethora of interesting subjects that we hope you find intriguing. Um, why don't we just be honest and tell them that we're recording this in the future and
Yeah, I
that,
think we should always do the intros at the end because then it seems like we know what we're talking about going into it, and then we seem smarter. And I rather appear smarter than dumber.
I
You know what I
like
mean?
that. Yeah, I do. I do. It gives us an advantage over our audience.
'Cause
Um,
especially when we start talking about Wi-Fi, you can see how smart we are there.
oh yeah, we're class A scientists in this kind of stuff. We were born for this. We were born with inherent knowledge of how radio frequencies work, and we just want to share that with you guys. So that's what you're going to hear in this episode. And we're going to talk about uh, books, I guess, movies, um, swords, and actresses from the 30s. And yeah, it should be a good episode, and we hope you enjoy it.
I hope, yeah, and I hope you guys like this new intro. We're mixing it up. I think we're gonna try to do a different intro for every episode, but we're still working on it.
Yeah, I like that idea. It helps keep us on our toes. That way it doesn't feel repetitive, like it's just a cookie cut, every
Yeah,
episode. We'll see.
but
Anyways, hit the intro music. We'll see you guys soon.
take it away.
Okay.
That sounds cool.
Boom. I like that. That was a good intro.
All right.
Digestible podcast. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. This is the Digestible podcast. An easy conversation to consume. You are listening to the Digestible podcast, and Joseph is your host. And sometimes he has a guest. Do-do-do-do-do-do. 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 Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Man, it sucks because the other day I was thinking that there's something that I was just thinking about that was pretty like weird. And I was like, you know what? That'd be a good pod intro just to open up with. And I was holding on to it and I should have wrote it down because now I forgot what it was.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen a bunch of weird stuff happen lately, dude, in the news.
Really?
Yeah. Do you hear about those Chinese astronauts that are stranded?
No. At the ISS or what?
No, China has their own space station now. So they were up there, and some space debris hit their ship, so they couldn't return back. So
Okay.
another crew was up there, and they ended up taking their ship and returned back. But now it stranded three other astronauts up there without no ship.
Oh, snap. What did their ship get
So
hit by? Was it like a super small piece? Because you know how like
yeah,
fast those things travel? Like,
yes,
what's the
that's
physics
exactly what
on
it
that?
was.
It was like they say something like the size of like a penny could like destroy like a rocket or something like that.
Dude, paint chips can damage the space station.
Really?
Yeah, paint chips.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like the speeds that they're moving up there is like crazy. So they just sent another rocket up there with a empty pod for them so they can return back or have something to turn back.
Would you do that? Like, what do you think? What do you think is going through their minds right now?
Oh, they already went up there. It's back.
Oh, they're back now.
They're good now. Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna make a movie out of this one day.
I don't know. Boeing. I've heard about Boeing's last not Starship, Starlink, not Starlink. What is it?
A
They're
space shuttle?
yeah, it's the Boeing something. Let me see.
Okay. Is it that one that takes civilians like on that moon flight or whatever?
Starliner. That's what it is.
Oh,
I knew it. I knew it was something dumb. I thought it was like Starship or something. Starliner. Yeah, that one. It had all kinds of crazy stuff going on inside of it. Like the radio, like the speakers were having like a
what's that?
like a like a ghost in the system.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they couldn't figure out what was making that noise, and it sounded creepy.
I'm sure it was probably just a random bouncing radio wave that was just hitting the. Yeah, because this is interesting. Okay, so like I didn't know for the longest time how far radio signals bounce. Uh, like how they bounce off the stratosphere or whatever, and like that's how like
Yeah.
you skip AM and FM, but like even down to it interfering with Bluetooth um waves. I don't know. I forget if Bluetooth is does Bluetooth have a lower frequency than your regular AM FM radios, or is it a higher frequency? I can't remember which one it was. Um,
All I know about Bluetooth is it constantly switches channels.
does it?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's something that's interesting. I feel oh man, that's cool. But so like I know that these commercial jets like these massive Boeings. What's your standard issue commercial airliner? Like a 727?
No, 737, 747. Those
Okay.
are about the normal, I think, like everyday kind of ships you see.
Yeah, so like
The
those,
ships, the
yeah,
aircraft.
aircraft, yes. Um apparently those the radio signals they emit, they could interfere with wireless PA sound systems. And I didn't know that. Like you could get dropout on like your mic system, like which is insane. And so like I don't know why I'm talking about this. Oh, it's because you're talking about that ghost chatter on that spaceship uh radio. Like I think it's
Yeah,
probably
dude.
just like a frequency randomly bouncing around.
Well, I don't know, because even Boeing couldn't figure it out. Like they were doing all kinds of tests trying to find out what was making that sound,
Really?
and they do not know why. It was only that
Huh.
shuttle, the Starliner, was the only one picking up that sound and playing it back on the speakers.
Yeah, how would a radio frequency bounce in space? Because we have satellites, so satellites are obviously sending a signal. So how did hmm, I'm beyond my
Because
depth here.
yeah, I don't really know what radio signals are. Aren't they kind of like a waveform? Like so that would mean like a light form,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
is it?
yeah. Radio, it's a. I thought that was my understanding too, that it's a form of light. I guess 'cause all light is it's a visible frequency. Because then you have
Yeah,
like
it's a very
infrared.
small
eh,
section that we see.
Yeah, but it's all on the same
Yeah,
scale.
because you got radio waves, microwaves, infrared, and then we got our
The
regular
visible
like
spectrum.
visible spectrum. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do you think that it's possible then to develop, if that's true, to develop like some sort of technology to where you could actually visually see radio frequencies?
I think you can.
Do you think it already exists?
Yeah, I think that's how they figured it out. There's a machine where you could see the waves.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that little those square box and it has like a screen with like a green
The Green
like
Wiggly?
bar that shows?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's isn't an osmograph?
I have no
I know
idea.
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it could visualize um, audio frequencies. I think it's called an osmograph. Is it an osmograph?
I have
No, no,
no
no.
idea, dude. I'm at the edge of what I know about sound waves and radio waves. So
Yeah, it says that an osmograph is a scientific instrument used to record osmotic pressure or the height of a liquid in an osmometer. So it's not an osmograph. Okay, now, let me see. What is the thingy that visualizes audio waves? 'Cause I know exactly what you're talking about. It's called uh oscilloscope. That's what it is.
there you go.
An oscilloscope. Yes, yes, yes. An oscilloscope. Um, an oscilloscope is used to visualize and analyze electrical signals by displaying voltage over time. Oh, so it's electrical signals. But I thought it was for. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Allows you to visualize live sound input. Okay. How much are these things? Oh, I could buy an oscilloscope on Amazon for $64.
But what would you use it for?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's the problem I've come across is I've bought things that I had no use for,
Yeah.
and I got rid of them soon after. And now
Wow.
I still own stuff I don't use, but I know one day I'll have a use for them.
Hmm. Yeah, kind of the same way because you gave me an air compressor that I had for my airbrush. I don't think I've ever even opened my airbrush, but I still holding on to it because like I feel one day I'm gonna use it.
Oh, dude, airbrushes are awesome. Once you start messing around with those, it's just like it's so much nicer, but it takes patience. You have to do even coats.
Yeah. So are you one of those guys then that keeps the box to like your tech? Not just feeling like one day you're gonna need that box again. Like you keep the manual, you keep like the coupons that come inside of it, or do you just throw it away?
Hmm. I'm half. So I get rid of the coupons and stuff because that's like don't need. I'll keep the manual for stuff that I need to reference, but I do have boxes. Like I have the motherboard box that your computer was built in.
You still have that box.
I still have that box. Yeah, I have my motherboard box. I have my GPU boxes.
Yeah.
It's just I was hanging on to them just in case I wanted to sell them again, like put them back in there and sell it.
Yeah.
But I think it's already past its prime now, so I doubt anyone will really buy it.
Yeah. The other day I got rid of a bunch of boxes. Like I had a bunch of old boxes for things that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna need this one day, and I never used it. So I finally mustered the courage to throw them away. I like to wait. Like I don't want to immediately throw it away, and so I wait
Yeah,
a few years before I do.
I know exactly what you mean because you never know when you might need a box. Sometimes there's some really nice boxes. You're like, this is a good box, and
Yeah.
it feels wrong to just throw it away.
Yeah, like I had a Canon box. I almost cried throwing it away because it was for my Canon camera, and the cardboard was just so shiny. It was like a shiny black, and I was like, this would be a great box to just hold things in. It was really sturdy, but I just had too much stuff, so I had to get rid of it. The only box I have right now that I just couldn't bear to part with was my Lego Millennium Falcon box. It's on my dresser. I'm sorry, on my shelf, my bookshelf right now, behind my book, so you can't see it. But I just have it
Yo,
there, and I'm comforted by knowing that it's there.
oh, dude, I almost bought that for Janice. I'm so glad you reminded me.
Was it the $61 one?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
something anniversary one. This,
yeah, I have it. It's I got it at Target for like $80. Right now, you can find it for like $60 because of Black Friday. But it
yeah,
was really fun
I
to build.
I literally almost bought it this morning, and I was like, I'm like, I better hold off.
Okay, so I'm looking up right now what they use oscilloscopes for because it was bugging me. Um, they can be used to analyze an automotive ignition system. So, because I guess it just takes in the electrical voltage, and the oscilloscope will display the wave, and the screen has all kind. It's like a graph and a chart, so like it has certain markings on it, so where you can tell the amplitude, the frequency, what's what, and I guess if you know the standard parameters for what it should be, you could compare that to what your oscilloscope reading is, and make a diagnosis.
You know what? I actually, yeah, that's if you're into like circuit boards and like soldering into like circuits, you would need that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was like trying to figure out why I know about those. And there was a YouTuber who likes to explode and shock himself, like that's part of his gimmick. And he
wow,
would always have one of those, and you could adjust the voltage and stuff like the feed, and you could see like the wave of like I don't know exactly how they read it, but yeah,
yeah,
it's just voltage that you're looking at.
huh. Yeah, that's interesting. You know who it was? It was Smarter Every Day. That's how I found out what an oscilloscope was because people were making art with it. Like they were making drawings from it. Like they figured out like what kind of voltage or sound signals make certain shapes, and they were combining them and putting them in the system to make it create like a cool looking art thing. Let me see if I can find it. Oscilloscope art. Oscilloscope art. It just looked up art. How dare you? Oscilloscope art. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's trippy. Yeah, you could use music to make art. Like, whoa.
Well, I got something even crazier for you.
Shoot.
So in 1958, William Higginbotham was a physicist, and he
Okay.
created a game called Tennis for Two. So what it did was it would shoot one ball
Bad audio alert.
down
Okay.
to one side of the screen, and a line would block that ball from passing it and shoot it back.
Pong?
And
You're talking about
he
Pong?
made Pong on an oscilloscope.
On an oscilloscope.
That was one of the first games created,
Wait,
and it
wait,
was
wait.
in 1958.
Are you kidding me? So you saying Pong? Like
Pong or
before
Atari
Pong,
Pong.
it was so
It's called Tennis for Two.
so that was the inspiration for Pong, and he made it on an oscilloscope?
I think so, dude. That's what I'm
Whoa.
looking here. It says October 18th, 1958.
Yeah, on the oscilloscope.
Yeah, so players used the dial to control the angle of the ball and the button to hit the over the net.
So the first video game was an oscilloscope.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That is trippy how we came to talk
Yeah.
about gaming on.
What was it? Let me see. What's his name? What's his name? I got it right here. Higginbotham. William Higginbotham.
From Brookhaven National Laboratory.
An absolute nerd is the guy we have to thank for things like Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, pretty
Higginbotham.
much.
I mean, if you're gonna have a name, then what a name. Higginbotham.
William.
William
He probably went by
Higginbotham.
Bill. Bill
Yeah.
Bill Higgy.
I'll just say, yeah, Bill Higgy. I like Higgy.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Tennis for
That
two.
is cool that was one of the first video games.
Wow.
Tennis for Two.
Huh.
And speaking of video games, man, our first episode of RV there yet.
Yeah.
The Navajo and Uncle Poe RV adventure.
Yeah, a journey through my Butts Valley. It sounds like a dream you would have after you had bad Chinese food and a colonoscopy. Um, but nonetheless, it is a very fun game.
Yeah, I had a blast recording it, man, and editing it was fun.
It was. It was fun to play. It's very fun to play. Um,
Yeah, that's originally why I wanted to do the podcast first before we did that. So, because we did promise episode 2 was coming, and surprise, you guys, this is episode 2
oh
of
yeah,
Digestible.
welcome to episode 2. That was one heck of a long intro, but that was a good intro. Um, yeah, we are supposed to get this out before the month of November is up. I told you I was gonna go for 2 episodes a month, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very doable. I like that. It's not too overwhelming. That way you can just take your time and not rush it. So
yeah, that seems pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. But
But first video game, 1958.
on an oscilloscope, and but to backtrack because the whole reason why we started talking about the oscilloscope was because of we were trying to talk about that ghost frequency on that Chinese space station.
No, not even close. It
No,
was the ghost frequency on the Boeing Starliner.
That's
And
the
we started talking about the
point.
Boeing Starliner because we're talking about the stranded astronauts
Oh
that were
man.
Chinese in the space station.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's totally what I meant. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, um, that would be an interesting dilemma to be in. Now, what you were talking about that, and it was reminding me of just because it was like sci-fi and then being trapped or whatever. Um,
Interstellar.
no, not Interstellar, but that phenomenal. Oh my gosh, Interstellar! What a performance by McConaughey. It kind of broke my brain though because I was starting to think about the physics of black holes. Like I'm by no means a physicist. Um, I the only what's the what's the term for that? Like the only not physical, like
Physics.
yeah, the only dose of physics I've ever had, I think, is like watching Neil deGrasse Tyson like just yap away on something, I guess. And so, but he hardly even talks about stars. I only ever hear him talking about random stuff. But anyways, I was thinking because you know what they say, how when you approach an event horizon, like you get spaghettified.
Yes, they theorize that's what happens.
Yeah, and so I was like, but you know, in the movie that obviously doesn't happen. Spoilers, at this point, which how many years ago did that movie come out? I don't think we're spoiling anything. Um, he does not get spaghettified, but instead he goes into like this weird wormhole where he's able to communicate with his past self, but it's weird because the past had already happened and he's in the present, but yet somehow he's also the future. It broke my brain. Christopher Nolan just broke my brain with that scene. But no. What I was gonna say was Sphere. Have you ever read Sphere by Michael Crichton?
Yes.
What'd you think
I
of it?
actually I seen the movie. I didn't read the book.
Oh, okay, you've seen the movie. Okay. What'd you think of that situation?
Um, you gotta jog my memory again. Sphere.
Okay,
I've seen the movie. It's been like I watched it in the 90s or maybe early 2000s.
so Sphere was basically this the U.S. Navy discovered this crashed vessel in the middle of the ocean, and they sent a team of scientists down to go discover what was going on. But it was weird because they sent like a mathematician, they sent a linguistics professor, they sent scientists from very different unrelated fields, and so they're all in this like submersible submarine, and they got to go really deep to go down there, and they start wondering why they're here because they start figuring out each other's profession, and they realize what does this have to do with a crashed, vessel in the middle of the ocean. And they get down there and they get briefed about their mission was that there's this weird alien sphere that is on board this ship, and they're there to investigate and make contact with whatever this weird artifact is. And basically, the sphere is like this alien. This it's like a sentient ball. That's all I could describe it as. And basically, it would like speak to their subconscious, and whatever their greatest fear was, it would manifest as it. So like this one guy was really afraid of squids, and so at one point they get attacked by a massive giant squid. Um, and so like it's a weird it's kind of like a psychological horror book because it's
Yes.
dealing with like their worst fears being realized. Um, but it's also like a crazy sci-fi like because it's an alien and his name was like Jimmy or something, like because he began communicating with them through binary. It's like that's their first contact they make. Like they start getting weird binary nodes on like their terminals, and they're like, oh, and they're like, what are those weird beeps? And they realize that's binary code, and so they translate it, and that's how the whole thing starts. But basically, they all end up dying, except for I think two of them. I think two of them survive, and yeah, it ends with a cliffhanger. But it was a very interesting book. Uh, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think it was Samuel L. Jackson, right? That was in the movie.
Yes, that's all I was gonna say. It's Samuel L. Jackson, Dustin Hoffman, and Sharon Stone.
I didn't know Dustin Hoffman was in that movie.
And his name was Jerry,
Jerry,
the
that's what it
Jerry.
was. Yeah, I knew it was something generic.
Yeah, I remember this now. This movie was a trip. Yeah, that whole scene was just trippy. Like, I think it was supposed to be like that was a computer that you interfaced with the sphere.
Was
It was
it?
kind of like an AI. I think that's what they were trying to say what it was, but they
Yeah.
didn't really have the term for it.
Yeah.
So, like, if you record it now, most likely it would just be an AI. Modern day would just call it an AI computer.
Yeah, but I was weird because I vaguely remember it like they would step inside the sphere and like because it was like weird. They would talk about like the surface of it was like this viscous. gold, like a membrane that they would like walk through, and like they disappear inside the sphere, and like they would, and that's how once they stepped inside the sphere, that was when the sphere was able to gain access to like their subconscious and was able to manifest things they were afraid of in real life. Because it wasn't like, oh, I'm just hallucinating and there's this giant squid. Like, no, there was actually a physical manifestation of what they were afraid of. Um, yeah, no, I'm sorry. You started making me think about sci-fi situations when you talked about them being trapped in space.
Yeah. Sphere, crazy movie. I didn't really get too into it, but The Thing. Oh man, I love that one.
The Thing, that one, oh, was that the 70s or the 80s that came? That's an old movie, huh?
It's actually from earlier than that. It's a remake. So there's original The Thing is a 1982, and but
82,
before that there was another movie in 1951.
1951. Okay, I knew this. It's called The Thing from Another World, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
but that one is not as crazy as the 1982 one.
Okay, 1982.
And then they made another one, who is a not a remake, but it was supposed to be a prequel, but they ended up using like CGI, and the CGI wasn't the best.
Yeah.
And it was in 2011, and they went full CGI instead of practical.
Oh.
And it was a story of before they go to the Antarctic American site.
Oh, wow. So
But
what
yeah, man,
is
that
the thing?
so the thing is a alien that takes on the traits of whatever it touches, and it
Oh.
mimics and spreads.
Okay, so it's huh. Oh, wait, it spreads. So you mean if so say it touches me, it could like change itself to look like me, but then I now also become infected with it. So like there's two things
It
now?
no, you're no longer you. It consumes you
Oh,
and makes another you.
so it's like a cordyceps fungus, like you know from The Last of Us. Like it takes control of my mind. Like I'm pretty much dead, and I am now
No,
engulfed by the thing.
no, you're consumed, and then it multiplies its own DNA and builds another version of you.
Oh, so I'm dead. Like it ate me.
You're gone. Yeah,
Oh, it just made a biological copy of me, but it's not me. It's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Whoa.
It's made a copy, and then what's crazy is that whole movie. If you watch it, if you look at the eyes are the most important part of that whole movie.
Okay.
So if you ever watch it, look for the glint on every person that's alive, that's a human. They have a little white glint in their eye, like the camera, like the lighting. You'll
Yeah.
see a little white glint. The people that are not um human, that are the thing,
Yeah.
when you look at their eyes are solid dark, no glint.
Hmm. So I imagine this was purposely done as a little Easter egg. So if I've never watched the movie before, I could tell who's who by the glint.
Yeah, but you're gonna get this is like maybe you watch it 2 or 3 times, and then you start
Ah,
noticing these little things.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some deep lore in this whole movie. It was actually a novella.
Really?
Yeah, let
Well,
me
I
see. I got it
guess
right
it's
here.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, so it was actually a novella. Sorry, I had to grab the book real quick. It's called Who Goes There?
Okay.
And it was John W. Campbell.
John W. Campbell. That's the 1952 one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but it goes Who Goes There? That's the original.
Who goes there? That's freaky. The thing. So the idea of that it being how would it how would it eat them? Would it like was it kind of like the blob where it would just like touch them and like absorb them or like
It doesn't really show. It kind of leaves it up to you. There's like one part where it shows a dog getting consumed,
yeah.
and this dog looks like it's getting like melted.
Oh. So kind of like the blob
Yeah,
then.
yes, kind of.
Because that
But
freaked me out.
you know what's even crazier is if you speak Norwegian or Dutch.
Okay.
I don't know which one, but if you speak that language in the beginning of the movie, there's a guy in a helicopter shooting at a wolf, or no, like a husky, and it's flying towards the Americans' camp. So they all come out looking like, why? Like, what's all this shooting? They look outside and they see this helicopter crash, and this guy runs out, and he has a gun and he's shooting at the dog, and the dog comes running up to them, and they're like, "Hey, what's up, dog?" And they're petting him. He's like, "Get away!" He's yelling at him in another
Yeah.
language, and then he shoots one of the guys in the leg, and they end up killing that guy. And
Oh wow.
another guy gets a grenade, like, from the Norwegian group, and he was going to throw it at him. They shoot him, and they blow up their helicopter.
Yeah.
But the whole time they're screaming, "Get away from that creature! It's not a dog. It's an alien, and it's going to kill everybody. Get away from him! I'm trying to save you, you idiots! Get away!"
Wow.
That's what he's screaming the whole time.
Yeah.
So if you knew that language in the beginning of the movie, that gives it all away.
Oh wow. That's
But
interesting.
since it's an American movie, it doesn't even give you no subtitles or anything, so you
Yeah.
don't know what they're saying.
Wow. That's really cool. Gosh, see, I love. I've always liked, like sci-fi horror like that because to me, like that was just. It's not so much that it's horror. It's just the fact. It's like the fear of the unknown. Like I feel like it's appealing to that sort of like you don't know what's out there as far as like the cosmos, like what could exist, and so it's making you do the imagining because like. And isn't it that like one of the rules of horror movies that you never let them see the monster? Like
Yes, you let them build the monster in their mind.
yeah, and so it's like, in the books it kind of does that because first of all you can't see it. It's a book, so you're having to imagine everything. And
Unless it's a cool book where they have drawings.
yeah, unless it's a graphic novel.
No,
Um
no, no. Like old school books, they used to have pictures, like inserts, and
yeah,
you'll have a
that's right.
drawing in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I know Sherlock Holmes. Oh, what was his name? I don't know, the guy who illustrated it. But yeah, like every other page was like an illustration of them. Yeah, you're right. Um But yeah, so I love that so much. I actually started writing a book on because I was reading a lot of Michael Crichton during that time. I loved Michael Crichton. He's the guy who wrote Jurassic World and Jurassic Park. Not I'm sorry, not Jurassic World, Jurassic Park. And the books are incredibly amazing. Uh, I've read his Jurassic Park. I've read Micro, which is basically the story of these college undergrads who get shrunken down really small in the Hawaiian jungle and they're trying to survive. So it's kind of like Grounded, the game you're playing.
Yeah.
Um, except the person that shrunk them was trying to kill them. And so then he finds out they're surviving. So then he shrinks down like his men to go into the wilderness and kill them. So not only are they having to survive against nature, they're also trying to survive against this really jerky
Wait.
billionaire.
Like, okay, so he finds out they're surviving as small
Yes.
people.
Yes.
So he goes and decides to shrink his own guys to
Yes.
go in there and fight them.
And kill them. Yeah. Because what they were doing was they had like little shrunken bases all around the island that this rich guy had. And because they were doing some crazy research. And so like they've been doing it for years. And so when he shrunk down these kids and killed them, he didn't have any ops on the field, and they started realizing that their bases were being used by someone. The only way these bases would be being used was if these kids had survived. So they put two and two together, and like he shrinks down his own special mercenaries to go out and kill them. And so like it is very graphic. Like one person gets killed by an ant. Like they start getting torn apart by ants. Um, that was brutal. Like almost like the main character dies, which is insane. This is the only book I've ever read where the main character dies. I think he gets stabbed by like a beetle or something. I can't remember. But like he's the main character. The whole reason these people are in the mess is because of him. Like the book opens up with his perspective. His brother got killed, and so that's why he's there at the island. And all the plot. It's all about this guy. Then out of nowhere, he gets impaled and killed, and then the main character becomes one of the random side characters. It was um, really interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I have one problem with that whole premise right there.
Okay.
Instead of shrinking down his guys, he could have took a pocket full of M80s and just put them in all the bases and blow up the bases,
He did.
or just
He
could
did.
have just burned the forest right there with a fire.
Well, he did. He destroyed all the bases because the thing was they were running against a clock because after 3 hours, like after 3 days, I guess being shrunk would start to shut your organs down because there was like some weird flaw on the systems where you couldn't be shrunk for too long. So they had to get back to normal size before 3 days were up. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, so I was into that Michael Crichton and I began writing a story about an insect toxicologist and his intern, a hot dog
His
vendor,
intern.
his intern,
Go ahead, take it again. Take it again.
his, his intern.
No, no, no. Restart.
Um,
Let's restart.
okay. So I was writing a book about a insect toxicologist and his intern, a hot dog vendor, um, a linguistics professor, a hippie billionaire philanthropist, and a random gaming juvenile delinquent. Uh,
Nice.
Basically, go on an adventure in the Everglades to rescue the insect toxicologist's intern because she went out to the Everglades to do some study on some insects or whatever, nothing too crazy. And she gets taken by these man-eating humanoids that the government had been creating, and it was a project gone wrong, and they ended up escaping their compound and living in the Everglades. And so she gets taken by one of them. All her men get killed, and she's having to survive in the Everglades running from these things. And like they would use kind of like echolocation, they would scream, and like that's how they would find out where their prey was. Like it was, I made it trippy. And basically, she makes contact with the insect toxicologist and tries to tell him what's going on, and he doesn't believe her at first. But the hippie philanthropist was actually a conspiracy nut, and so he had wind of this before it ever happened. And so when he finds out, he basically summons up this ragtag posse to go into the Everglades and rescue her. And I never finished it, but yeah, it was heavily inspired by Jurassic Park and Michael Crichton.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Huh. I've started writing multiple different books, but every time I did, I always went zombies until I got zombied out. And now there's like too much zombie stuff in the market and everywhere, so I gave up
Yeah.
that idea.
Zombies were big in early 2000s, weren't they?
Yeah.
Wasn't that one World? It was that book World War Z, right? Wasn't that the book that kind of kicked it off?
Well, no, there was a bunch of different movies before that.
Yeah.
It was the Walking Dead is what really kicked it off.
Mm,
Yeah, when they made that TV show, that's when it really blew up.
yeah.
But a book, man, that I know will trip you out. And you said, well, I don't want to give it away. Um, it's called Wayward Pines.
A Wayward Pines. Okay.
Yeah, it's a trilogy book. Um,
Trilogy.
I haven't read the book, but I watched the TV show, and that show was trippy, dude. I wanted to get the books after watching the show because I know the books will probably be way better.
Hmm.
It
Blake
has
Crouch is the author.
yeah, it has Matt Dillon as the lead.
Matt Dillon. I know who Matt Dillon is. That name sounds.
He
Am I thinking of Matt
is
Damon? No.
yeah, most like Matt Damon. Um, I think you have you ever seen the Outsiders?
No, but there's a Broadway musical on that now, isn't there? But I know.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
so he's on the Outsiders. He's one of the um guys. I think he's the older brother.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's Dallas Winston.
I've seen him in something else though. This guy looks very familiar. Matt Dillon.
Oh, he's been in a lot of movies, dude. Herbie the Love Bug.
He kind of looks like Agent Phil Coulson.
No.
A little bit. I mean, he's got that in him.
Yeah, but that book will trip you out, dude.
A Wayward
But
Pines.
I do have Who Goes There. I'll let you borrow it, man, if you want to read this no little novella. It's
Okay.
only like 150 pages.
Yeah. When did that book come out?
This one,
Yeah.
hmm, I think 71.
Huh.
Yeah, cause actually no, I don't know. I don't know when this was because this is a reprint. I don't know
Yeah.
when the original one is actually written.
Hmm. Okay, well,
Oh no, you know what? My bad. It was actually in 1938.
1938. That makes more sense. Okay, because you're saying that's what the original 1952 thing was made off of, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was actually in the pages of Astounding, a magazine at the time,
Yeah, most
and it
of
was in
those
August
classical
1938.
horrors were published in magazines, which is really cool. I missed that.
That's one thing. Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. That's one thing I miss is magazines, dude.
Yeah, like them publishing like a chapter of a book every single like month or week, and like you slowly got like the story, and so like it kept you coming back to the magazine.
Yep. Like magazines were so cool because it was just a physical copy and it had just information for you to jump into.
Yeah, which I guess now the digital magazine is like podcasts. I guess you could say like an audio magazine because it just jumps from topic to topic. It's like the jumping off point, I guess, for so many different things.
Yeah, but it doesn't hold the same effect. Like
It
digital
doesn't.
is not the same. Like when you have a like an iPad or some kind of tablet in your hand and you're looking at a magazine online, like a PDF version,
Yeah.
it's not the
It
same.
doesn't have that intrinsic joy, I think, that comes with it.
Yeah, because like I have like a good little stack of was it Time magazine? Is that no, not Time.
Life?
Life. Yeah, I bought a couple of those. Sorry, I'm all talking away from the mic. I was all looking at my little library I have.
No, you're good.
Yeah, like those actually are fun because you get to open it up and you get to look. It's a
Yeah.
physical copy, and then you can just change pages and you come across stuff you didn't know you're looking for.
I actually, not just say that, I have a magazine right here on my desk. And it is a Bob Ross magazine with a lot of things just about Bob Ross. Some of his paintings, stories about his life, different, anecdotes about him, pictures. Huh. I forgot I had this until you just said that about magazines. I was like, I have a magazine.
That is cool. Bob Ross was a cool guy, dude.
He
There's a
was.
lot of mystery behind him.
Aren't all his paintings in like a warehouse, like not being sold?
Yes, his family owns all the paintings, and they keep them in a warehouse. He never wanted them sold.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm getting a cough drop.
I have I have his chia pet. I forgot I have his chia pet. I painted it though, so it looks real. I have his chia pet, Bob Ross chia pet on my shelf. Um, which is
Is
interesting.
that the white elephant?
Yeah, it was. It was actually. I remember I got it. Nobody wanted him. No, no, no.
I like.
It was because one year for my friends, we are playing White Elephant, and I bought a Gene Simmons chia pet, and he was so mad at me because he got stuck with it. And the next year, I decided to get a Bob Ross chia pet, and again they didn't want it. So then, I won it the next year, and I think you wanted it too, but I won it.
Yeah, because I think I bought a chia pet for one of the white elephants.
You bought the
Oh,
Gene Simmons chia pet.
it wasn't Gene Simmons.
Yes,
It
it
was
was. It was Gene
it
Simmons.
it was what's his name? Hold on, is it Gene Simmons? No, it's not Gene Simmons.
No, 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 no. I'm sorry. No, that's completely wrong name. I thought,
Yeah, that's from Kiss. It's
yeah,
Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons. That was his name. The
Yeah, that's
fitness
right. It was
coach.
the fitness guy. Yeah,
Yes.
Richard Simmons. Yeah, I was about to say it wasn't Gene Simmons. That's from Kiss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not Richard Simmons. That's who it was. Because I remember you bought it and I won it, and then I gave it to my friend, and he was so mad at me because he had a Richard Simmons chia pet.
Yeah, Richard Simmons, man, that guy was a trip.
Yeah, he
He
just
just
died.
died like yeah, not too long ago.
Yeah, July 13th of last year.
Wow, it was last year.
Yeah,
Wow, that flew by.
yeah. Um, Which I guess that's a perfect segue because there's something you want to talk about. I don't, we've been off topic the whole episode, but I guess that's the beauty of podcast. You wanted to talk about leaving your mark, and you had something very interesting to tell me about. Well, I'll let you talk about it. Why don't you go ahead?
You put me on the spot, and I'm trying to remember what I had. You know what? Um, I was cleaning my phone, and I deleted a bunch of stuff, and I closed those websites I had. I was going to reference.
Oh,
So give me a second. I gotta type it in.
go for it. I know for sure you wanted to talk about a sword.
Yeah, for sure that one. Sure, there you go. Oh yeah, it saved them. Nice. Did it?
I unlocked a bonus for the Swords of Northshire. I just had to put my email in, and I could spin the wheel and possibly win 30% off and free shipping.
All right. So yeah, I had something about leaving your mark. And so to get into leaving your mark a little bit, we had to go back in time and talk
Okay.
about a subject. It's actually a sword.
A sword.
And yeah, so it's called the Sword of Gaojin. And I probably just
Gaojin.
Gaojin.
Gaojin. Okay, so it's Chinese.
Yeah, it's Chinese. Yeah.
Okay.
It so I'm gonna butcher a lot of this. So any Chinese people out there, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm
I don't.
non-Chinese.
I don't think our demographics are looking like we have a large audience with the Chinese.
Yeah. Not yet, anyways, until after they hear this segment where
Yeah,
I'm talking about
that's
Chinese swords.
that's our goal. We want the algorithm to throw this podcast at the feet of the Chinese. So take it away.
Yeah, so this sword is a sword of legend right now in China.
Okay.
It has a lot of folklore and myths behind it. But in the 1965, when scientists or archaeologists came across it, they came across it in a really damp, um, like tomb, and it was partially underwater in the ground, like muddy water.
Okay.
And so they found it with a scabbard. A scabbard is it's like a sheath, but like a hard sheath.
She's. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they pulled it out, and when they pulled it out, the sword was actually pristine. It had no rust,
Oh.
and it still had its color and everything.
Was it
And
iron?
so it's bronze. It's a bronze alloy.
Okay, so that's
So
probably
it's not
okay.
just it's not just bronze. There's other stuff inside of it.
Yeah.
And so when they pulled it out, it was actually so pristine that when the guy ran his finger across the blade, it actually cut him.
Wow. So wait,
So
1965, when was it created?
2,000 years before.
Wow.
So they're they believe it was a sword made for the Chinese king, the King of Yu. That's
Okay.
Yue. So about
Y-U-E. Okay.
Yu, I think they would say. Yeah, so if you haven't looked this up, it is an amazing looking sword.
Let me see
It
here.
has like a kind of like an argyle style. Like that's the best way I could describe the pattern. So if you know argyle socks, like has a
Oh.
checkered pattern.
Yeah, like a dog tooth kind of deal.
Yeah, and
Oh,
so
snap.
um, that sword also has some turquoise emeralds, like turquoise stones embedded in the hilt.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and it has
Huh.
some engraving on it. And so this engraving, there's two different groups of archaeologists.
Okay.
They believe it's meant to say this sword is made for the king of Yu, or this sword was something king of Yu. Like
Okay.
so, they don't know exactly which, but basically they kind of both agree that it was made for the king of Yu.
Yeah.
But anywhere else, there is no maker mark on this sword that they can tell.
Hmm. Was that a
And
common thing to do back then?
so that's the thing about leaving your mark. I want to talk about the sword is because this sword is so remarkable because it not only stood 2,000 years in a damp cave and didn't not even rusted or anything, not damaged at all, and lasted for 2,000 years. And there's no mark of the person who made it. like all modern blacksmithing stuff now, everyone likes to leave their mark on it.
Yeah.
And when you leave a mark on something, that's basically leaving your tell that you created it.
Right.
And so, on a lot of like katanas and stuff, like on the hilt of the sword, so if you remove the handle, so where the handle connects to the sword,
Yeah.
you remove that. So under the blade, you'll see they'll usually have a maker's mark. And those marks are distinguished between like different sword makers.
Okay.
And you get a if you get a sword from like one of these prolific sword makers, it can be like worth millions of dollars.
Okay, but you would have to remove the hilt to reveal the tang, right? To see the mark.
Yes,
Okay.
they're designed to be removed.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of these a lot of these older katanas and stuff, and wakazis. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Kazis.
I'm a wee, yeah, I'm a wee, but I'm not that much of a wee. I just know katana.
Okay. Wait, a wee? What's a wee?
Wikashi.
Wakizashi is one of the traditionally made Japanese swords worn by the samurai in feudal Japan. Its name refers to the practice of wearing it inserted through one's obi, or sash, at one side, whereas the larger tachi sword was worn slung from a cord. Okay, so
Okay, but these are two different cultures, so let's not. That's I wanted to note that so no one gets after us. That's Chinese and
it's
Japanese.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a whole little sea between those two
yeah.
countries. So we understand that. We're just talking about swords and leaving marks.
Yes.
So this sword has none of that. The only thing that says is this sword was made for the king of you.
Okay.
That's the only thing you can find marked for who made it or anything. And that always impressed me. When I first learned of this sword, I was like, wow, imagine making something that can last 2,000 years. Imagine having something you crafted or made with your own hands last for 2,000 years.
And no one knows it was you.
Yeah, and then when I got older, I was like, yeah, but no one knows who actually created that. Like, who was the blacksmith? Or like what family, like do they
Yeah.
even get credit? Like they made a sword, dude, that lasted 2,000 years in like damp water and it's still not rusty. And you can see the sword now. It's in a museum in China.
Yeah.
Like it was pristine
Hmm.
and it only has a crack now because when they lent it out, a guy dropped it and cracked it.
Oh my gosh. That's stupid.
Yeah, so no, they no longer lend it out. But this sword lasted that long and no one knows anything of the maker who made it.
Wow.
Only thing you know, it was what it was made for and for who it was dedicated to. And so
Hmm.
that's what I really want to talk about is leaving your mark. Is sometimes your life you won't be able to leave your mark on something, but something you do will get left behind, and who you did it for would be imprinted on it.
Wow. I see where you're going.
Yeah,
I was wondering. I was trying to find. I was like, where's he going? And then now that makes sense.
yeah. So as I got older, man, I used to be super vain and want to leave my mark, and I wanted to be what I can leave behind. And now I'm older, and I'm like, I don't mind having just that engraving. This sword was made for King, you know,
Yeah.
engraved on my life. If that's all that's left behind when I'm gone, that I live my life for God, I think that's
Yeah.
fine.
I think so too. There's a person once told me that you will be so fulfilled in life if you will get joy from adding value to people's lives. And this person is one of the most joyful people I've ever met. And all they do is try to add value to people's lives. And they don't leave a mark per se. Like, I want everyone to know that I was the guy that helped transform this kid's life, or like I was the dude that helped counsel this person and helped pour into them and made them who they are. No, he's just there to add value in any way he can and help people be successful. And the only sign I guess if you could even call it that, that this person even interacted with this other person in their life is the fact that they're successful. And they could trace that back to, well, this person poured into me. But you'll never know that unless, down the eons of time when you look at this one person and like, man, they had such a powerful life or whatever, you'll never know. Well, yeah, but there was a person that poured into them that helped them be who they were. And so I guess, intrinsically speaking, the value of that person's legacy is in those that poured into them. There's the old saying, you stand on the shoulders of giants, and I think that's true. I don't think there's such a thing as sort of original, how should I say it?
Well, the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, right. Like there's no way you could claim originality for like your success, I suppose. Like there's no way you could say like I made myself. There's no way. I mean, you
Yeah,
have thousands of years of human civilization behind you. There's no way you can say I made myself, even if you didn't believe in God. I still think that's extremely arrogant. Like obviously, as Christians, it's like, well, no, everything I have, God gave me, and who I am by the grace of God. But even if you weren't a Christian, like, how can you say you made yourself? You're standing on the shoulders of giants that, like, you have thousands of years of humanity to thank for where you're at.
yeah, that's so true, man. Like on our own, we can't do nothing. We
Hmm.
all got to a certain point in our life because of other people helping us along the way. Even if we don't want to admit it,
Hmm.
you've been helped along your way in your life. No
Yep,
one's made it on their own to where they're at.
never. And I think a funny way to kind of illustrate that was I heard Conan O'Brien. Was it Conan O'Brien? No, it was Nate Bargatze. Um, say if
Oh,
he
I
would,
like that guy.
yeah, I like Nate Bargatze too. He was saying that if he was dropped in the future, no, if he was dropped in the past, if he was thrown in the past, knowing all that he knows, being from the future, he would be of no value or purpose to anyone back there. They'd be trying to do things like, oh yeah, we got telephones, we got smartphones, and
Yeah, he's
then
like,
be like,
we carry those around in our pockets.
how do you do that? I don't know. So it's
Yeah,
like,
like how does it work?
yeah, it's like we have television. Like, how does that work? Oh, satellites in space. How does that work? I don't know. So it's like, as technologically advanced as we may be, and in so many different areas advanced as far as culture and all these things, if you could call it advanced, I guess. In some ways, I think we digressed. But I think that just goes to show, like, as comical as it may be, it's a simple way of illustrating that you are living by things and by people that you never acknowledge what they contributed to add value to your life. And so I just don't think it's plausible in any sense to say that someone was self-made, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Well, that's so true, man. We take for granted everything that's around us. Like, for the longest time, nuclear energy was a mystery to me until I found out it was just like a really high-tech steam engine.
Yeah,
And I was just like, dude, like that's it. Like I thought it was like using fusion and pulling particles and energy and neutrons and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. No, it's a heat source that steams up,
water,
that
yeah,
boils water and makes steam.
yeah,
It's just a steam engine, and we're still using steam engines.
hmm,
It's just a better source of fuel.
yeah,
So we're not consuming large amounts of coal or like gas or something.
yeah.
But yeah, like how does that work exactly? I don't really know.
Yeah, like if we got dropped in the past and we're like, hey, why are you guys using all this coal? You could be using nuclear energy. What is nuclear energy? Well, it's you get uranium and you splice atoms. What's an atom? It's like, whoa, I'm not near advanced as a human as I thought I was. Like, we're not so far removed as we think we are, I think, from ancient days, because
Well, yeah, look at us in the beginning of the podcast. We're talking about waves and we didn't know how Bluetooth or any of those actually how it works.
exactly. And we use Bluetooth every day, and it's like, how does it work? I don't know. I really don't. I know one thing. It's waves. But someone asked, "What's a wave?"
Yeah,
I
then
don't
we're trying to
know.
figure out. That's how we started on this whole journey. We're trying to figure out what a wave was.
Yeah,
We're like, how do you measure that?
yeah. And it's interesting because it's like whoever discovered that, that was the mark they left. And yet how it leaks into every area of our lives, and we don't even know the name of the guy. But yet that person's contribution to society is infinitely uh, bettered us, I think, in a sense. So,
Well, actually, we do know the person who made Bluetooth, who discovered it.
well, I know we do, but I personally don't. Like, I don't know his name.
Uh, it's actually her name.
Her name, okay, Mary Curie.
No. Uh,
Uh, let me just look it
hold
up.
on.
Who discovered Bluetooth?
Hedy Lamarr.
Hedy Lamarr.
Yes. So
Okay,
actress Hedy Lamarr, she was from I don't really know. Oh, 19 she was born in 19 oh no, their patent was in 1941.
she looks like Lucille Ball.
Yeah, she was a movie star, dude.
Oh,
She's from the golden age of Hollywood, like black and white movies. So
yeah.
actress Hedy Lamarr co-invented the frequency hopping technology during World War II, which laid the foundation for modern wireless technologies like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and GPS.
Huh.
And so, while she was famous Hollywood star, her scientific contributions were not widely recognized until later in her life.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hedy Lamarr,
Wow.
she did the frequency hopping, and
Frequency hopping.
that's what gives us Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and GPS. That's why I was telling you. Remember, it says switches frequencies.
Yeah.
Yeah, she helped invent that.
Oh, whoa. I'm reading about what she's done. She did a lot. It says here she improved traffic stoplights, and she created pretty much Alka-Seltzer, a tablet that would dissolve in water to recreate a flavored carbonated drink. Huh.
Yeah, dude, she that lady was awesome. She's very beautiful. She was an actress, and she was smart.
Hedy Lamarr. They don't come like that anymore. Wow. Oh, she acted along Charles Boyer.
Hmm.
Hmm. And Clark Gable. Oh, she really was up there, huh?
Yeah, dude, she was up there. She was a star.
Yeah, MJ. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, her inventions only came to light as she got older, like later on in her career.
Yeah. That's really
Yeah,
fascinating. Hedy Lamarr.
Hedy Lamarr.
Hedy Lamarr. Thank you, Hedy Lamarr, because now I have Bluetooth.
Yep, and we still don't know how it works,
But it works.
but it works.
But it works. And the sword of Guion. What else do you know about it?
The soda beyond.
Guion.
Oh, the so I thought you said the soda beyond. I'm like, what?
The soda of Bouillon?
It said beyond,
Oh,
like beyond the
beyond.
stars. Yeah, I was like soda beyond. I'm like, what is that? You had me tripping for a second. Oh, but the sword of Gaujon.
Oh,
No,
Gajon.
I made it French. I made it French.
Gajon.
Is Gaujin.
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 Sword of
Yeah,
Gaujin.
isn't that like Japanese Gaujin for like outsider?
I don't know. I don't know Japanese. All I know is arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Yeah, and
Domo
Ohio,
arigato.
Ohio. That's the other one.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Yeah, that's the only two I know. One because it's a state, and the other one because it just flows off the tongue.
Yeah, but that sword, man, there's a bunch of myth and legends behind it. It gets into like crazy stories, like but I was just impressed that a sword lasted for 2,000 years and was still held its edge, and its creator might not be glorified, but who it was made for stands the test of time.
Yeah.
And that just impressed me as a young maker. And I had a whole other tangent. I had a whole other tangent I want to do, like talk about leaving your mark, or like maker's marks, like what's the purpose of those. But yeah, I might just touch about that another time, dude.
Hmm. Yeah. It's definitely a deep
Yeah,
conversation.
and if you guys haven't noticed, my voice is a little deeper because I'm sick, and I did take
Yeah.
medicine. So I might not be the sharpest spoon in the shed, you know?
Hold on. Wait just a minute here. I'm looking at a list of like swords that change history, and there's one on this list called the Tizona. Born in Vivar, Spain in 1043, Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar. That sounded so white. Let me say it again. Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, more commonly known as El Cid or the Lord, was a military leader who was famous for his many victories over his enemies. Almost as famous are his two swords, Calada and Tizona, which he used to cut down forces from Moors, Barcelona, and Aragon. Tizona is said to have been forged in Cordoba, Spain, with steel from various sources, including Damascus steel from the Middle East. It's over a meter long and weighs just over a kilogram. Tizona saw its fair share of battles on its way to helping shape the future of the kingdoms within Spain. Today, this most famous sword is a cherished relic and is on display at a museum in Spain. I have that sword hanging on my wall.
Is that the same sword?
That is the sword that you gave me. No, that you stole from your uncle or that your uncle gave you and then that my dad took from you and that my dad gave to me.
No. My uncle gave it to my brother, your dad,
Okay.
and then I stole it from your dad,
Okay.
and then I had it for years, and then I gave it to you.
Okay, that's how it was. It's hanging on my wall. I'm looking at it because I'm like, wait a minute, that looks familiar. And I look at my wall. The hilt is the same. The blade is. It's literally. I have a replica of it on my wall, and I never knew that.
That is cool. You can actually see on that sword there's a couple of like dings in it.
Yes, there is.
It's because well when that sword when we first came across it, me and my other cousin, we had sword fights and we actually went blade to blade.
Yeah.
We went ding ding, like we were really chopping each other and we damaged those blades.
Yeah. There's definitely some knocks in it, but that is so funny. I was not expecting.
Yeah,
That's literally. I have it on my wall.
that is so cool. I didn't know that sword was famous.
Me either. It's called. His name is Tizona, and it's I guess the old school Betsy. Um. Yeah, that is so insane. I have that sword.
Oh wow, you are not kidding. That is the exact same sword, dude. The
Yeah,
hilts and everything.
exact same.
Wow, that's cool.
I wonder how much that
I,
is, because it's an
I know.
actual sword. Like it's not light. It's heavy metal. Like it's a full on sword.
Wow, wonder how much that replica
Let's
cost when we
see.
got.
I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna
Oh,
look up
well, they're only like $27 right now
replica.
online.
Oh yeah,
So
34.
it's Black Friday sale actually. It's
Yeah.
just only $27.
Oh, this one here is
Yeah.
$256. So I'm gonna say that it's worth $200 because it makes me feel better.
Oh, I see another one with gold, and that's 455.
Yeah, this one's like a brass. It has like a gold. Mine has like gold foiling inside the design, like inside the carvings. Um, huh.
Well, it had more gold on it. I didn't like the way it looked, so I kind of cleaned it.
Yeah.
I kind of got rid of some of the layers of that.
Uh,
So I give it more of a tarnished look, but I think it looks cooler.
yeah. Well, it looks really nice. I didn't know it was a famous sword. That is so funny.
That is cool.
Yeah, I have it
Did not know that
hanging.
either.
I literally have it hanging by my Bob Ross shit pet, right above him.
I've had that sword for years, dude. That hung in my room on like multiple different places I lived.
Yeah, that's funny. You know, one day we're gonna pass it down to generations, and it's not gonna have a mark on it, and it's gonna be a legendary sword. Let me see. Does it have a mark?
It does have a mark.
Made in Spain. No
Yeah,
way.
no, but
This one
there's
was
also
actually made in Spain.
under the hilt, you can unscrew the top and the handle comes off.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And on the tang there's a stamp.
Oh, where goes that idea? Wow,
And
this
there's also my name in there too.
is it really?
No.
Oh, I was like, there goes that. Wow, made in Spain. That's interesting. So it was even made in Spain.
Yeah,
That's so
and
funny.
you know what's crazy is I don't even know where he got that sword. Because my uncle used to trade things. Like he was he liked to trade.
Yeah. How? Wait. What year was this? When did he give you the sword? Or when did he give my dad the sword?
I was 14,
Okay, so was this around like late 90s,
so 19 years ago.
early 2000s? Okay.
Hmm.
How long did he have it before he gave it to my dad?
I have no idea.
Okay, because I was just trying to gauge whether or not he could have got it online, if that was even a thing back then.
Yeah, because he moved in when I was like maybe 12, 13.
What uncle are we talking about?
Uncle Tony.
Oh, your dad's side?
It, yeah, but
Okay.
it's actually his. It was his brother-in-law.
Okay.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, he moved in with his sons, Anthony and Andrew, and then they had the sword, and that's when we dented him up. And then they moved, and then his mom moved in like a year later, or I think he moved out, and then we had someone else come in, and then his mom moved in for a little bit, and then they moved out, and that's when we got the swords.
Wow. And eventually it got passed to me. That's crazy. So,
Yep.
man, that's passed quite a few hands in the family.
Yeah, it might not be inside like a tomb underwater, but
Yeah,
yeah, that is a family sword.
it is an heirloom that has been hanging on drywall for a few years.
I think even on the backside of that sword it has your dad's name written on it.
Really? Hmm.
Unless I cleaned it off, I'm not sure.
I think you did, because I don't remember seeing that.
But yeah, man, I had fun. This is cool conversation, and we talked a lot.
We did.
Somehow we tied in astronauts to swords.
Astronauts and swords. That's what we're titling this episode. Astronauts and swords.
And Hedy Lamarr.
And Hedy Lamarr. And I think we were inspired to talk about space things because of a podcast we've both been listening to. I don't even know if I should say the name because I don't even know if that's going to be a copyright issue. Do you know what podcast I'm talking about?
Yes, I do, but you don't need to reference them.
Yeah,
They're big enough.
yeah. I don't.
They need to reference
They
us.
don't. They don't need my shout out. But yes, it's a podcast we were listening to. But yeah, um, but yeah, this is
And
episode 2. Should be out soon. What do you want to talk about on the next one? Do you want to tackle skinwalkers the next episode?
skinwalkers? We could do myths and legends.
Okay, I like that. Myths and legends. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds fun because there's some stuff I can tell you.
Okay, bet. Like Cthulhu. Oh, no, that'll start a whole conversation. I'll wait till next time. But yeah, Cthulhu's interesting.
I know some of him, but not too much.
Yeah, Lovecraft. He created a whole sect of literature, a Lovecraftian horror, I think is the term for it.
Yeah.
But which I guess is kind of like The Thing. The Thing is very reminiscent of a Lovecraftian horror kind of deal. But anyways, any last remarks?
Stay in school. Make sure you wipe your butt good, and always wear deodorant.
And say no to drugs.
Say no to drugs.
Antiperspirants, stay away from those. They clog your pores.
This was the Digestible Podcast with Joseph as your host. So take what you heard and pass on your own point of view. We want to say thank you for being the third chair. This was produced by his Uncle Poe, the sometimes guest. This song should have faded off, but if you're hearing this, Joseph didn't edit it correctly. Let him know you heard this Easter egg in the comments.